Hello everybody! I haven't got my phone on me, I'm just on my computer, so it's all really weird. So excuse all of this behind. I've been shooting a video and a self-tape and stuff like that, so it's all behind me. How is everybody? I just had to get on because I do this every time. I laugh, but it's not actually funny. About Alan Vinnicom's new book launch. Very interesting watching that has. So this video that he got on, and he had to put it on because he had to make sure that none of the trolls found out about his book, because we're all so interested in his life, right? That we would all scurry around sort of taking pictures of him at home and finding out what he's doing. We're not. So he has to bring on this book launch, and he said, we're going to go woo, 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 you know, and he's bringing on this book and he explains what it is, and he says he's been working with this author, Nettie, I don't even know what her name was, but he's checked her out, and she wasn't like any other authors that he interviewed, none of those other ones. And he said, the name I won't mention, you know, who plagiarised that book. We all know that it was Sharon and Kate, right? So he wasn't into her, then he was into her, now he's into this new person. And he explained why. Because she comes with everything as a package. And then he explained there's a collab. They're collabing. So it's his book, but written by an author. So it's written by someone who already has books in the charts. He sits in his flat and talks rubbish, and yet she is serving him So apparently this woman is writing the books, and there's going to be a series of 5 before Alan decides to do an audiobook. And I can't wait for the date where that comes, that Alan actually has to do some work and actually say words of his own book so that people can buy it in audio form. So let's all wait out for that one. But anyway, the first book of a series, and then he got the word from someone obviously on the camera when they said, oh, is it a saga? Yes, it's a saga, it's a saga, it's a saga. It's a saga, but it's a factual novel, apparently. And the first book is factual, which for Alan Vinnicom, where do we go there? Fact and fiction are deeply intertwined, so the novel could be anything it chooses, right? Anyway, so he chose her because she comes with lawyers, proofreaders. She's, I'm presuming, supplying all the money for this, and she has the talent and the skill. And Alan and his team are proofreading it and overseeing. It's overseeing, right? Because, you know, you don't want any rubbish, crime, factual novels. So he's overseeing it. So that's a real collab, isn't it? That she's doing all the work and he's putting his name on it. But anyway, it's happening, apparently. So this is where it gets really interesting, because he's got a book launch and he's telling you, all the people he loves and trusts and his subs, who basically make him happen. You are the ones that throw your money at him. You are the ones that basically finance his lives. Lives? Yeah, lives. But I meant the other. Shut up, Philippa. Yeah, so then when people start writing in while he's doing his book launch, it's very clear that he doesn't know anything. When is it coming out? He's got a date. How do I get hold of it? Can I get it on Amazon? Can I pre-order it? How much is it going to be? When will you do the audiobook? Is it hardback or just softback? What is it? And it gets to a point where Alan doesn't know any of it. He basically doesn't know anything. And it gets to a point where he gets so rumbled that he gets annoyed at the people for asking him the questions. And he does this really weird thing, which he often does, and it's what abusers do, and people who are abusing your trust and abusing you in your life, they'll turn it round on you. So he starts to say, oh, easy people on YouTube, you know, you want a lot of information, don't you? Hold on, back off. I'm only, you know, it's the first day, I'm just telling you. It's the first day he's telling you, but he doesn't know anything about the book or anything about anything to do with it. It's just so effing insulting to actual writers and people who write actual books. They don't sit there, Alan Vinnicom, and suddenly go, yeah, Gonna do a book launch. Gonna do a book launch. Gonna have a book. Gonna have a book. Yeah, it's easy. I've just decided now. They do years of research. They study. They have a gift for writing. They have a passion for writing. And someone's got behind them and supplied them with some distribution or belief in them or money to help them, or they've been blown away by this gift, and it happens. You don't just suddenly collab with someone who's got everything and then sort of get onto her coattails and then suddenly decide. And so you don't know anything, but you're just here to tell you that you've got a book. You don't know anything, don't know anything about it, but it's a book that I'm writing. That's interesting, isn't it? I smell a little bit of poop here. Got to be honest, Alan. More poop. So then as people ask more and more questions, they actually ask him about the author, who she is, and, you know, what she's about. And Alan literally does this. I don't know, look her up. Look her up. Look her up on Google. That's what he says. His own book. The author apparently is going to write his book. And that's what he says to his fans and his people that are asking questions. Look her up. I'm not going to tell you. And so proceeds. People then do look her up and start telling Alan about her. So basically he's getting his information from the people who have clicked onto him to get information about his book. All he cares about is himself. All he cares about is himself. And I just did what he does, which is say things twice. And I said it twice because I bloody mean it so much. He does not care. And it gets worse and worse and worse. The way that he treats people is unbelievably arrogant. Unbelievably sociopathic. It's got to the point, Alan Vinnicum, where you look like you've got a serious mental illness. And then, of course, Kev comes on. And what's hilarious is that Kev, who is like his right hand, I don't even know how to describe him. He's like a Ken doll. Doesn't know anything, apparently. Doesn't know anything about the book. Oh my God, congratulations. And he has this sort of dead look in his eyes. And it's a look of either he didn't know and he feels utterly betrayed by Alan Vinnicum, or he did know and he's just acting badly. But what you've got here is this sort of person who thinks he's a king, and then this court jester who's there sort of at the beck and call of Alan Vinnicum. And this is exactly what Alan Vinnicum does. He gets everyone around him to think that they are the ones who have the problem, and therefore they need him. And I look up, because that's what people imagine themselves to be on this pedestal. They need him to help. And he's so tired of helping others. I mean, he hasn't got the time anymore to not write a book and not say any facts and not work and not spend any money of his own, you know, all this kind of stuff. And it just sort of goes on and on and on. And he's always been a horrific YouTuber. And by the way, Aaron, it is YouTube, not television. He gets to a point, he does one of his little quibs of, oh, you know, she hasn't turned up. Oh, that's television, that's live television, guys. No, it's not television. This isn't television. This is you sitting in your lounge with a camera. It's not television, it's YouTube. Very different thing. This is social media. This is not mainstream media. There is no one in your productions, and I say that very loosely, and they're not films, in your sort of YouTube channel who is professional at doing what they do. Not you, not anyone. No one has any skill. Otherwise, you wouldn't be holding your phone up to shuffle at the camera with every bit of information. You wouldn't be sitting there saying constantly over 2 years, now do you believe me? Now do you believe me? You wouldn't be using scare tactics and mind games to try and trick people into believing you and giving you money, because that's what you're doing. And that's what you're doing again with this latest book launch. We'll see if the book happens, and we'll see how it's happening. It'll be very, very interesting to see where it comes from and what work you're actually doing on it. So it was just a horrible moment in my vision. And as I was walking, listening to his sort of episode, I can't listen for long, so I didn't even get to the end of his videos because I can't bear them. I became like a dark cloud came over me. Alan Vinnicum is so negative and toxic and bad that it actually changed my mood. I became so outraged, incensed, and sort of itchy with disbelief that a person like this actually exists. I mean, I know they exist, but a person like this broadcasts themselves like that. This is there forever, what he does. Anyone, anytime now can look up him and see that. Forever. Forever, it's out in the ether. And even if he deletes it, tries to get rid of it, it will always be there. And mainstream media will always see that. That's why no one advertises on his channel, no one sponsors his channel, no one wants anything to do with his channel because it's all lies. And I'm going to go one step further to this author. Whoever you are, do not get involved with this person. It will absolutely ruin your career. Please do not get involved with Alan Vinnicum. It's a scam channel. And Alan, hello. If you feel like sending your legions onto me, feel free. But this has got to stop. I'm not a troll. I am just sick of your abuse online. And I wrote one last little note to myself. What was it? No, I think I covered everything. I think I've made myself well and truly feel nauseous again. And even the fact that I'm speaking his name makes me feel nauseous. And Alan will say, oh, you know, you got no life and you're talking about me, you're talking about me. No, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about what you're doing. Because what you're doing is criminal. Oh, this was my last point. Halfway through the video, Alan says, sort of changes tact. He says that people have been writing to him asking for refunds because, of course, they've been charged twice on his Patreon. And all other sorts of scams that he's done. He's taken collections from Lupus, where did that go? For Nicole Atkinson's treatment, where did that go? So everyone's starting to ask him now, which is good. Everyone is starting to go, something doesn't feel right with this entire channel and with this man. Something's not right about him. Something is very, very wrong. And there is something very, very wrong with Alan Vinnicum. Something very, very wrong. And so a few people obviously write in and say, listen, what about our refunds that I've asked you for? You know, you don't pay them or you ignore the comment. Can you help me out? Because you know, I've paid this and I need the money back. I need a refund for this. He's obviously not doing it and he's ignoring them. I know lots of people that have asked for refunds and he's just ignoring them or blocking them or avoiding it. So he then says in one little swipe, he says, you know, I'm working so hard on a book that he doesn't know anything about and doing all these lives that he does all night because the only people who listen to him now are people in America because people in England have rumbled him and have not fallen for these non-British charms. He then says, well, you know, I haven't got any time. I struggle with time, you see, so I can't answer someone who says, you know, can I have my refund for my $2 back? And he sneers at them. And that person who paid those $2 is two of their dollars. It's their money that you are stealing, and it doesn't matter how much it is, because to your pocket, each $2, if you're doing that to thousands of people, that is a lot of money. But to that person, it can make the difference to whether they eat for the night or not. And that is why I'm doing these videos, because Alan Vinnicum disgusts me, because he does not care. The day Alan Vinnicum refunds anyone for anything, owns up to anything, does the audiobook for a start, lifts one friggin' finger to help anyone in this world, I will eat all of my hats. It's never going to happen. Sorry for my rant, but not sorry. This has got to stop. I don't really have anything else to say because, again, I feel sick. I feel negative. I feel like I just want to wash myself off because this Alan Vinnicum is so toxic. I beg you, anyone, please step away. Step away from Alan Vinnicum and the Armchair Detective channel because they are all scammers meet con men and women, all together in a big bundle that needs throwing away. But I hope that at some point you don't get money scammed from you. And if you do, I'm so terribly sorry. Keep asking for it back. Lots of love to everyone, and I'm stepping off my soapbox.